doing in Africa. Um, my name is Pierre Dandjinou. I'm a VP in charge of stakeholder engagement for ICANN, and my colleagues are also in the room. They should be complementing, and also we are having an ICANN day, I think tomorrow, and I guess tomorrow. So you'll be hearing more about us. But of course, our CEO also has already, at the opening ceremony, introduced what we are doing and the type of, I would say, support we are providing to Africa and even to Afrinic. Let me just, cite a few things that are quite important that we should be talking about, but also that we need your contribution on them. The ICANN, as you already know now, is about coordinating those critical resources without which we don't have an internet, that's operational. Well, these are the DNS, we already talked about it, the root server, the IP protocols. A lot of these are quite important, and I can kind of coordinate this, of course, within an ecosystem made up of sort of sister institutions. We also do policy development around those resources, which is quite important, also happy that Africa now has been contributing to all of these activities, because we are having more and more participation from Africa, which is great. We are having, be it on the technical part of what we are doing, also on the policy development part, you are all there. And in numbers now, for the last 3 to 4 years now, we have seen it, and I'd like to really congratulate you. Now seeing that not many of you just rely on the scholarship that we extend, that governments, and also private sector are now striving, also the regulators are striving to send, people to participate to ICANN because they can see what they could get from it. Let me quickly cite one or two things because we don't have time, and we will be talking more on that during our ICANN, day at AIS, which is happening, tomorrow, I believe. First of all, when you talk about ICANN in Africa, there are one or two things that you should bear in mind. First of them is what you call the Africa strategy. As some of you will recall, the Africa strategy was developed. The first one was developed, 10 years ago. And that was as a request, by the Africans themselves in one of the ICANN meetings that wanted to really see ICANN participate more, have a footprint in Africa. And also later on, the ministers in charge of IT in Africa, when they met, one of the resolutions was also to have African participate much more, ICANN work, and again, that ICANN has a footprint. So ICANN has an engagement center today in Nairobi, has been established 5 years ago. It's operational. We do have a few staff over there. So we are already having footprint in Africa. But the bulk of what we have done so far is derived from this Africa strategy that was developed, and I cited one or two things. The first thing was about participation from both sides within ICANN, and also, secondly, capacity development. So based on those two elements, we actually designed a few activities that, that are now still continuing. Let me quickly mention for the last 2 or 3 years what we've been doing in Africa was around this strategy, of course, but also what we are calling the Coalition for Digital Africa, CDA. The website is around, and if you want to get more information about that, that would be great. But the CDA is about, a coalition of partners. Today we do have 14 partners with whom we are working. The idea being that we want to have a resilient internet in Africa, like my friend David was saying, And we spot on something that not many people talk about, in Africa when they are talking about the infrastructure on accessibility, all of those things. It is the DNS, infrastructure, which is key. So we like to kind of tell people that, okay, when they're talking about the internet infrastructure, that DNS is quite important, that they should understand how to manage it, how to secure it. And that's exactly what we are trying to do now under the CDA. One or two projects that are key, for instance, for us is how you are managing your DNS environment. And one of the things you should be doing is signing your zone file. We are happy to announce that because we did, establish a few capacity development, especially on our roadshow on DNSSEC. Well, we are able to cite a few countries that have signed their zone file. Of course, the next, challenge for us is to also see how much of them will be validating, the whole process. It's key, and the statistics, are showing this. It's also about, security of your systems. The other thing that we establish, is we partner with a few organizations to actually, it's again, facilitate accessibility to the internet. Our colleague from ISOC spoke, and we do have a partnership with them on the ISPs, in Africa, how to make sure that we do have more and more of them, to have a resilient, internet in Africa. One of the key projects that we also undertook with the Association of African Universities is the Universal Acceptance, program. It's key. It's about your information system that should be at par with, the different systems, but also different scripts. And also it's about something that we now started, which is the UA curricula in the African universities. We are already starting with 4 projects in 4 universities to make sure that, the universal acceptance kind of concept be understood, but also how do you implement all of this so that you develop scripts either for your languages, for instance, and that you be also on the net. One or two things we do, but I'm not going to really get down into those details. Like I said, we are going to have ample time to talk more about, all of those things we are doing. Let me just say that an announcement quickly here is that we are having our ICANN event, in Accra again. It's going to be early December, and you are all welcome because we are going to have our partners, working there, being with us. The Africa FDNS, for instance, FTLD, all of those will be around, and also the partner of CDA. And also we are going to really make sure that you have a kind of, shall I call it a tiny ICANN meeting there, because we are having all the African reps, from the SOACs, which is supporting organization, and advisory committee of ICANN. They will be all there, and to exchange and also hear more about, what the African communities will be expecting from ICANN. So let me just, again, thank you for the invitation, and also say that, okay, we are of course happy to contribute to the Africa Internet Summit. And yes, support, of course, will depend on what you guys, will be willing those institutions to bring. But as far as Africa, we are concerned, as far as ICANN is concerned, it boils down to mainly to capacity development, different areas, of Africa. So let me stop here and wish to all of us, a very nice, summit. And it has already started. I've been following, and I'm so sorry. This is the first time I'm missing, the AIS, but I'm still here remotely. So thank you again for your attention, and back to you, Alain.
Yes, thank you, Pierre. Thank you very much, Pierre. And Pierre said it, tomorrow we're going to have ICANN Day. And also Pierre also referred to his colleagues, so I want to point to Yaovi Aton,